Okay, perfect. So I've started the streaming. If someone can check and confirm if it is running, but it's fine. I mean, the video will go there. So let us try to begin here. So first of all, welcome everyone to this particular workshop. Thanks for joining in on a very short notice because I told about this workshop this morning only. Right. So because earlier I was not free, so I like my timetable got changed and I just thought of creating this. So in this particular workshop, what we are going to do, we are going to build an application using generative AI where we have a chatbot. So basically what we have a database here. If you see,
Sorry,
if you,
Satvir,
hello,
will you record this meeting?
it is recorded or being recorded already. It is going live on YouTube, so you can watch it.
So sorry to disturb you.
No problem. Okay, so just let me do one thing. Let me first of all join through another email ID because a lot of people will be joining late. I don't want to interrupt your experience. Give me a second. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let us start. So now, like if someone joins it, I will add through my other screen so you guys won't be interrupted. So yeah, so this is the chatbot that we are going to build. First of all, how is it going to be that we have this particular database which is present? We have a CSV file. I will share with you guys. Right, this is a database of movies which I shared in group as well. Now, suppose we want to get information from this data set. If, for example, let us say, let me first of all move it here, that how many distinct movies are there. For example, this is there are 100 rows, movies are getting repeated multiple times, and there are different things. Okay, so let us say I want to just inquire a simple question that how many distinct movies are there. Now generally what you do, you need to write a SQL query for that. Now this is a very basic example where I'm saying that, okay, how many distinct movies are there, you will say select distinct movies from table. That's how you write in SQL. But think of someone who is non-technical in your company who does not know SQL, right? So for those people to execute database, it is very difficult. They do not know SQL. Now this application is technically built for entire company so that anyone can talk to a database. For example, let's say you have a database, anyone can talk to that just by typing his natural language. What does a natural language mean? You can type in English, you can type in Hindi, you can type in any of your language, right? For example, I will show you that I can type French, I can type Spanish, it will reply me the right result. So what it is going to do, for example, let us say I just type in how many distinct movies are there. Let us say I type this, okay, and I press enter. So it will run something in the backend, and see, it decide based on the natural language. It created a query, okay, and through that it generated my answer. Again, this front end is very basic. We don't need to worry about front end. For front end, we have front end developers, right? We don't need to worry about that. So this is the answer, okay. Now, for example, let us say I just want to convert this line into Spanish. For example, let's say I open ChatGPT, I say convert this to Spanish. Okay, so it will give me a this, right? Now let's say a Spanish person in your company sitting somewhere else, and he just types in this chatbot this particular Spanish line, right? And he enters it. So he will also get the answer. Okay, so this is the thing we are building, that use any of a natural language and execute it. Now, its practical implementations are very huge in company. This is just a simple example that I just show you. In company, there are huge databases. There can be like SQL, NoSQL, JSON files, website, like API servers. There are a lot of things, right? If you just want to interact with them without knowing the coding part, right, it is a game changer for the company, right? So this is what we are going to build a small implementation of this in this particular uh, this particular workshop, which you can leverage by, like, if you want to learn GenAI in more deep, you can learn that later. Okay, so any question before I start? Any doubt, anyone? All good, everyone? So this is the, I just,
Yes.
yeah, Lavanya, please, you had some question.
I just want to know about the interface which you use right now.
This is Streamlit, which I'm using. So
Okay.
you can, there are a lot of interfaces which you can use, but I'm just right now using Streamlit.
Fine.
Yeah, yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
So I will give, so I have uploaded every code, every CSV file in GitHub. So this is the GitHub link I'm sharing you guys. Okay, just go and download this CSV file from there. I'm sharing it in chat box. Okay, so if you open this GitHub link, and you will see a CSV file. So download that CSV file first of all in your system and let me know. Are you guys able to download the CSV file from the system, from GitHub? Okay, perfect. Anyone facing any difficulty? No, so I will first store this CSV in a database. So we will discuss that part as well. I will discuss the whole architecture, what we are going to do. So I will be storing, I will not be speaking to CSV. I'll be storing this into a SQL database. Okay, so shall I proceed ahead? Any doubt? Anyone?
I'm not able to download Satvik.
Who is not able to download?
Myself, Raghav.
What is happening? If you are clicking, what is happening?
It is not showing the option for download.
Are others able to download it? Let me just create a Google Drive then. I mean, I didn't create it earlier, but I will just create it right now. So let me just upload this. This is the CSV file. Okay. Okay. This is the CSV file. I will just share it with you guys. So share. Okay. So I'm sharing the Google Drive link here. You can download it from here as well. So I think this should be enough. So is everyone good with it now? Just confirm me once, please, because it is important to have the data first of all. Okay. So let us proceed with the first of all, let's discuss a little bit about GenAI, that how GenAI applications are built. Okay, so let's start with the main discussion. Now, what is happening? First of all, let us try to understand what is happening with this application. That this is, let's say you created an application here, which is, this is the application that you created. Okay, now what is happening? User is asking a question from here. Okay, user is asking a question from here, and here you are giving him answer. Correct? This is what is happening. So when I go to this chatbot, I'm just putting my question here, and it is giving me some answer. So what is happening inside? Let's discuss. So inside this application, what is happening? There are two steps happening. First of all, if you see, you are converting this natural language. So this question is a natural language. Okay, you converting this natural language into a SQL query. Okay, and second thing, what you are doing, you are executing this particular SQL query to, you're executing this SQL query on your whatever SQL database is there. Okay, and then you're giving the result. Correct? So your user sends a question, it goes into this application. Inside this application, two things are happening. First is converting your question into a SQL query. Second is taking that SQL query and executing in the database. Any doubt on this? Anyone? Any doubt on like what is happening inside the application? Okay, so let us do a little bit more deep dive that how this question is, natural language is getting converted to SQL query. For example, let us say I go to ChatGPT, I simply ask this question that how many distinct movies are there? What do you think? Will it give me the answer? If will it give me the answer? What you didn't understand, Siddharth, can you tell me? You got it, right? So what is, so basically what is happening inside the application? User is sending a question inside the application. That question is first of all getting converted into a SQL query, and second, that SQL query is getting executed in from a SQL database. These two, I'll explain them further once we start building the application. Now tell me, if I ask this particular question, that same question which I asked here, technically this thing is connected to my LLM only, right? But if I ask it here, my application, oh, because I closed the code, that is fine. So if I ask ChatGPT, will it give me the answer? And if not, why? Can you guys tell me?
Because ChatGPT doesn't have any kind of data which we are looking for. So first we need to upload any data.
So what is happening, that ChatGPT, you all know that it is based on universal data, right, which is trained on a particular date, and it is not customized to your needs, right? For example, if there is a company, for example, now company has internal databases, right? Now ChatGPT will not give you answer related to this, correct? Because that data is not available publicly. So what do we have to do? We have to create our own version of ChatGPT, which will query our own database and give us answers. Any question? Any doubt?
I have one doubt.
Yes.
Ultimately, we will be connecting with some ChatGPT version only through API key.
Yes. Yes. Without that, how will you answer? Without that, that is not possible.
Yeah.
Any question, anyone? Please feel free to ask. Everyone is a beginner in this batch, in this workshop right now. So if you don't understand, please feel free to ask. Don't feel shy away. Okay. So since everyone is clear, so I'll move ahead. Now, so this is our, so let's first of all build the architecture. As I mentioned, what we are going to do, first of all, there are two steps involved in the project. That first of all, take the user question, okay, take the user question, convert it into a natural language, okay, convert to a SQL query, not natural language. And second, as I mentioned, execute this SQL query. These are the two steps which involve in this particular application. Now, so before moving this, let us first of all try to import the CSV file in our database, right? And we will see how to create, basically I'll be using a SQLite. I'll talk about a little bit. Before that, let's start with building the Python. So you have your VS Code in your system, right? So everyone please open VS Code. If you go here, you can open VS Code, something like this. So do you guys know about the concept of virtual environment? How many of you know about it? Yes, please. Yes, please, you can ask.
It wasn't a question. I just said that I know about it.
You know about it, okay. How many of you know about virtual environment? How many you don't know about virtual environment? Can you please let me know? If you don't know, please comment in chat box so that I get to know who all do not know. It is important before we start. Before we start coding, it is very important to know virtual environment. Okay. As I see, lot of people do not know, so I will first of all explain the concept of virtual environment before coding, because that is required before we start coding, right? So in Python, right, you guys have been using Jupyter Notebook or like through Anaconda. Some use VS Code, some use PyCharm. Like there are a lot of methods available. Now, what is the application? But when you start building an application, for example, you just cannot go and write a big code somewhere. You to write like multiple codes, multiple versions you need to install. So what do you do? Now let us assume, first of all, I'll give you a layman example. Okay. I've created a video on this as well. It is available on our YouTube channel. I'm not sure if you guys have watched it, that what is virtual environment and how to create it. Okay. So first of all, let me give you a layman example. Okay. Suppose this is your kitchen. Okay. You are creating two dishes. So let's say this is the area where you are creating two dishes. So let's talk about, this is the dish 1 and this is dish 2. Now in dish, so to create these dishes, suppose you are standing here, you are creating these two dishes parallelly, and to put these dishes, what you have a shelf where you have placed all the items that you need to. Suppose you want to put vegetables, you want to put spices, you want to put oils, like whatever. Now suppose dish 1 is you want little sweet, and this dish 2 is little spicy. Okay, they both use for example certain things. For example, both use, there's a version of chili, for example, this is C1, there's a version of chili C2, right? Similarly, there's a version of V1, there is version V2 of vegetable, and lot of things. Your whole item of kitchen is scattered here. Now suppose you start cooking it and you randomly take item from here, right? What will be the issue if you start doing cooking this way? Can you tell me? There is high possibility that while making sweet dish, you might put a C2 version which is more spicy. You might put something this here. There's high possibility, right? You can mix up things. That's what I mean. Exactly. So what is an ideal scenario for this? You want to create separate for each dish. What you can do instead of this is you remove this, right? You create partitions that, okay, for dish 1, my item is there. For dish 2, my item is there. For dish 3, my items are there. Okay. And for dish 4, my items are there. So whatever items you need to create dish 1, you will put here. put here. These will not interact with each other, and you will have no confusion while creating dish that, okay, to create dish 2, do I need this spice or this spice? Because everything is partitioned properly. This is the concept of virtual environment when we come into. Now let's start talking this from sense of a computer point of view. Now suppose you have a laptop or you have a computer, whatever you are using, it has a space. Okay, it has a space and a memory which is installed. Let's say this is that particular space. You do multiple things on your system. Let's say you're creating different applications. Suppose this is one application where you are creating this NL-to-SQL chatbot, which we are just right now building. NL-to-SQL chatbot. Suppose there is another application that you are building where you are creating, you can say, image generator. You are creating a model which generate images. Okay. Now these in your system, when you install Python, for example, let's say the Python version is 3.11. Okay, this is the let us assume this is the latest version that you have downloaded. Now the point is that while creating this this project 1 and project 2, let's say this is project 1, this is project 2. Okay, this particular thing requires Python 3.0 only. It does not work on Python 3.11, right? And this works on Python 3.11, right? So if you have not created separate environments for these, what will happen? If by default your system has 3.11, this particular project will take 3.11 and it will create an issue because it can only work with Python 3.0, but in your system you have Python 3.11. So what do? We create separate environment. And so what is an environment? Basically a folder where you create all the folders related to this particular project. This is environment 1. We call it virtual environment because it is not practically present anywhere. It is just virtually we are creating inside our system. Similarly, this is virtual environment 2, which is related to project 2. Any doubt on this? Please ask me. Do you guys understood the concept of virtual environment? Guys, please interact. If you don't interact, there's no point of joining in the live workshop, to be honest. If you didn't understand, let me know. If you want another explanation, let me know. Please tell me. The concept of virtual environment is that when you are creating different system, different programs in your system, they should have separate dependencies. Like for example, to install, we will see that while creating this model, we will install a lot of libraries. All right, the version should be for this only, right? It should not interact with the version of another project or with the system one. That is the whole concept of virtual environment. Okay. All good, everyone? Shall I move ahead?
So how we are going to bifurcate that?
How are we able to?
Bifurcate that, as you're saying, we're going to choose individual.
Yeah, so what we do, we create virtual environment, every environment, and in that environment, we have to install every dependency.
Okay, one at a time, that's how it will
Yeah,
be.
so for example, let us say you're installing a library called LangChain. You'll have to install it again and again in different environments. Suppose you install Python or LangChain in one library. If you think it will work in other folder, it will not work because it was created in a virtual environment. Okay.
So every time whenever there's a requirement, we have to create a separate one.
You have to create a separate one. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So,
just one more doubt I have, that where exactly is this virtual environment stored?
it is stored inside your system only. So basically, whatever memory your system is having, it will be stored there only. It's just that you will not be able to see. That's why it is called virtual.
Okay.
So technically what is happening, your system is there are a lot of partitions getting created inside your system, right? You will not be able to practically see it. If you see the disk size, it will give you, for example, 512 GB only, right? But it will have multiple partitions. Okay, each project will have its own environment and it will run in that area only. Okay, it will not interact with dependencies of other installations.
It's not related to the IDE we are using, right?
No, it's not related to that. It's related to the folders basically. The folders will be is everyone clear with this? I'll show you how to create a virtual environment right now. But is everyone clear with it?
Yeah, sorted for me.
Yes. Yeah.
So before creating any, so far you guys have been just maybe solving Python question, maybe solving a DSA question, solving just some like case studies, right, which you do on Jupyter Notebook. But when you build applications in Python, they are not done that way. They have to be created in separate environments so that they do not interact with system. So how to create a virtual environment? First of all, let's say for this project which we are going to do right now, let me create a new folder. Okay, so let's call it GenAI SQL chatbot, GenAI _ SQL. I just hope it does not match with anyone. Okay, so this is the folder that I have created. Okay, now in this folder I will install everything that I need. All the installations, everything will be done in this folder only, and this will be my virtual environment. Technically, I will show you how does it work. Now what I'll do, I'll just copy this CSV. You guys can also do. I'll just copy this CSV file from here to my folder. Okay, I just pasted this CSV file.
And when you're referring to this CSV file, is it the same that we're going to receive it from the customer?
Yeah, it is the same that you have. I didn't get.
No. My question is, you're referring to a database which is CSV file.
Yes.
So is it going to be created by us, or we'll receive it from the customer?
You'll receive. Basically, this CSV will be inside. For example, you are in your company. In your company, you write various SQL queries. Now, where is the data stored? The data is stored in your SQL servers, right?
Okay.
This is that data only. We will first of all put. So data engineering team will actually put this CSV into your SQL servers. Okay. And you will interact. So right now we'll do that only. That how to put this CSV in a SQLite database. Okay. So first of all, let's open your VS Code. Okay.
It is a kind of data dump, I would say.
Yeah, it's a kind of data dump. Yes. Okay. Now let us say you open your VS Code first of all. Okay. When you open your VS Code, if you go here at the top, so shall I zoom in a little bit, or it is good?
I think it is good.
Okay. So first of all, you click on this terminal option. Okay. So you click on this terminal, and something like this will open up. Are you guys able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now in terminal, now remember, we are learning how to create a Python environment. So first of all, if you see my location right now, if you have to where am I in my system right now, you will just simply type pwd, means Python working directory. Where is my system right now? So it is present somewhere here. Now where is my folder stored right now? It is stored at desktop, correct?
Yes.
So what I will do, I'll go to first of all my desktop. So how to go to desktop? There is a command in this. Remember, see, you don't. Of course, you will need to remember these commands later on. But if for a lot of you guys, it will be first time. Don't get scared. Okay. So just listen to what I'm saying. Just understand what I am doing. Right. Okay. So this CD command. CD means change.
Can you please repeat after terminal what you have done?
You go to terminal. After terminal, just type pwd. It will give you a result showing where your directory is. Okay. So for example, for me, it is this place. Now what I want to do, I want to change because my folder is created in desktop. So what I will do, I'll use CD. CD stands for change directory. Okay. Change directory and go to desktop. I'll just write down this. So if you see, this is my working directory right now in desktop. Now in desktop, I have to go to this folder CD GenAI _ SQL. So what I will do, CD space GenAI _ SQL. That is the name of your folder. Okay. Now we are inside this particular folder, GenAI SQL. That's how you navigate inside your computer using terminal. Or for example, if you are using Windows, you will have this command prompt that you use. Okay. Is everyone able to has like reached till this point?
Yeah, it's simple. It's not.
Anyone?
Last point, I have reached till percentage CD desktop. After that next point, it is giving me null value something error.
No, after CD, desktop may D should be capital first of all, right? And after that, once you go into desktop, go to this folder GenAI SQL, whatever folder you have created. Yes, for Windows, it's the same command. Is everyone able to do this? Anyone?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now I'm inside this folder. So for example, when you type ls, it will show you whatever is present in this folder. If you just type ls, so for example, right now we only have bollywoodmovie.csv present in this particular folder, right? So now I will create a virtual environment. Now to create virtual environment, there are two steps that these are just syntaxes, right? Don't worry if you don't know, that's totally fine. So how to first of all, we have to create a virtual environment, then we have to activate it. So how to create? There is a simple command Python 3, okay. Then there is -m venv. There are multiple methods to create it. I am creating using venv method, okay. Venv, and then the name of the virtual environment. For example, I want to name it for example, let's say SQL, okay. So how this code is run? This is Python 3 -m venv means virtual environment, and then SQL, that is the name of your virtual environment.
I am getting cannot found exception.
What you're
Please
not
help
able
me.
to, what you're not able to find?
After desktop, it is giving me, and I'm so
Have
it
you
is giving me.
created this folder in your desktop?
Yes, I have created this folder.
What is the error that you are getting?
It is showing me that object cannot found.
So it means
Object not found.
something wrong with your you are doing it incorrectly. CD desktop, when you write down CD desktop, is it giving this desktop?
No, it is also giving me error.
Yeah, so that is the problem. You need to write down CD, then capital desktop. First of all, write down that.
Yes, I have write in that manner only.
Are others also facing the same issue?
Yeah.
Just type down, do one thing. Type down PWD.
Okay.
What are you getting?
No error. Next line it is
No,
there.
you will get a result, right? It must be giving you a result.
It is giving me GenAI-to-SQL, my file name.
It is giving you, right? So then you're fine. Don't worry. Okay. So now we create this virtual environment. So you do Python 3. Terminal is not present in Windows. I am doing on Mac. For Windows, it is not terminal. It is command prompt. If you go to VS Code at the top, you will have terminal. Guys, is anyone working on Windows? Can you tell me what is it called in Windows?
Terminal only. It shows
Terminal.
terminal only. Yeah.
So you go
Same,
to VS.
same like Mac only. After going into terminal, if we see that there will be below option, there will be option terminal.
New terminal. So click on new terminal and
Yeah.
Python 3 MENV. Okay. And you give the name of your let's say what you're creating. Let's say SQL, or let's say NL-SQL. This is my virtual environment name. I'll create an enter. Okay. So my virtual environment is created now. Now I have to activate this.
It is giving me invalid argument.
Did you write this syntax only?
Yes.
It's not possible. Let me check. Write down this. I have commented in chat box. Make sure you're putting right hyphen, right spaces.
Yes, but have you pasted it?
I pasted it in the chat box. Are you guys able to find it?
It shows error. Not found. It shows not found.
No, what are you naming it? See, first of
Same what you have pasted in the chat box. No, I have pasted that only. It shows Python was not found run without arguments to install from the Microsoft Store.
have you guys?
And the Python is not
So
installed
a lot of you guys have not downloaded Python. That is also the issue.
because I had the same issue and I've installed the Python.
I'm getting this error, Satvik. I have pasted. You cannot call a method.
Cannot found C uses desktop because it does not.
I had similar one, so I had a similar problem. So I had to install my Python on my system.
Yeah,
before.
the issue is that you have not installed Python. That was the problem. You need to install Python first. I thought you guys have installed Python.
Can you tell me about my error for Raghav? I have pasted.
You cannot call a method on a null valued expression. You cannot call a method on a null valued expression. This is from Microsoft. Can you check with ChatGPT? I do not remember what like how to fix it.
I went to the Microsoft Store just to install the Python and it worked. So
Did it work?
yes, please.
So you just went to Microsoft and installed Python, right?
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay. Guys, so it is about Python installation. Let's move forward. I will say, right? I mean, you guys please follow it. Like for those, it's working fine. It's good because you guys might need to install Python and check it. Then it will work for sure. The only reason I see is Python not because this is a very basic argument. It should not give an error.
After installing a Python, we need to do anything extra, like we have to do some
No.
settings.
No,
No,
don't.
after that, you just use the command and it's work.
Just go to terminal or you just see what are you getting. Python, if you just type this Python version, something like that, or not on this, in the other terminal. If you the command, let me create first of all. I'll speak about the commands once again, please. Okay, so first of all, please see the commands. What you need to do. First of all, you need to go to your system desktop. So you do cd desktop. Okay, let me open the file once again. So go to new terminal, write down cd desktop. It will take you to desktop. You will see this. This is the first command. Second command is you have to go inside the folder that is GenAI_SQL that we have created. GenAI_SQL. So do cd GenAI_SQL. Now you are inside this folder. Are you guys able to do? Are you guys with me here? Are you still here at this point or not? Guys, if there is an issue with your Python, it's fine. I mean, you can watch it.
Yeah, we have done till cd GenAI SQL.
Okay, now I'll create the Python virtual environment. So how to create that? The command is Python 3 -mvenv. Okay, after that you have to name it. For example, I'm naming it NL-to-SQL. This name you can choose anything as per you, but this command needs to be as such. This part you can change it as per your convenience. Okay, when you put enter, this environment is created. Now the next part is activating the virtual environment. So how to activate? You need to write down the command source. Okay, then this particular name that you created, NL-to-SQL. After that bin, after that activate. This is the command that you need to write down. Now once you do this, you will get something in brackets like this. It means your virtual environment is activated. Tell me if you guys are able to reach till this point. You need to create the folder. If you do not create the folder, it will not give you. You need to create a folder GenAI on your desktop or anything, whatever you want to name it. Guys, are you able to do it, or tell me please?
Yes, it's activated.
Please, with the Windows, are we to use the source?
Sorry?
Please, with the Windows, are we to use the source?
You have to use these commands only, which I just told.
Okay, thank you.
Are you guys able to do it? Please tell me yes or no. Are you guys able to create this virtual environment in your system?
Yes.
Others, please update me. I want to know. This is a live workshop. That's why I am spending time on this. Please.
Yeah, it's done.
You just need to create a folder, anything on your you can name it anything in your desktop, right? It is not necessary you name it GenAI-SQL. You can name it anything that you want, and you just need to, the commands are this only, like first of all cd into that folder, then you need to create source and then activate it. I'm waiting for 1 minute, guys. Please finish this up. Done with it, everyone? Anyone who is left behind, let me know, please. After that, just activate it. It's just one line command that you need to write down. You just need to run down source to activate it. I'm just putting in chat box source, your name of your virtual environment, and activate it. So once you create this, if you go to the folder, you will see that virtual environment folder is created in your system.
See, for Windows, source is not recognized as the command.
What? Let me just cross check with ChatGPT how to create virtual environment in Windows using venv.
Hi Satvik. So there should be a bin folder in
No. So basically for Windows, it is giving me. I have not used Windows recently, so I forgot it. But for Windows, after creating the virtual environment, just use this, like the command it says. For example, let me just go it. Where is it? It shows dot environment name scripts activate. So follow this particular thing for Windows. Dot hyphen environment name. So env name means whatever the name that you created above. So first step is this, and second step is this. Follow these two things. Yes, please. Someone was asking any question.
No, actually, I was just telling that in Windows, in the NL-SQL folder, there's no bin folder. So
yeah, so
that's why the source command is not working. So I think this should work. The ChatGPT command.
Yeah, so for Windows, this will work. Yes.
Yes, thank you. For Windows, it is working.
Okay. Anyone, any doubt? Shall I move ahead?
Sure.
Okay. Just give me a second. I have copied it. This is the code that you need to just run this to activate. Okay. So now I'm moving ahead. So now that you have, now in this particular folder, you have this CSV file, you have this NL-SQL environment that you created. Now, what is our first step? Remember, we need to upload this CSV into this environment. So what you will do, first of all, click this open. Okay. Tap on this open, go to desktop and open your whatever the folder that you created, GenAI-SQL, right? So open desktop, go to GenAI-SQL and open this particular part. So you will get something, you will see a CSV file here. Let me know if you guys are able to see it.
Yes, able to see it.
Okay, so go to terminal, open a terminal and just activate your environment once again. So how to do it? Source. I mean, whatever, if you're using Windows, you can use other thing. NL-SQL. Okay, bin / activate. So my virtual environment is activated. Is everyone able to see this particular folder here, that NL-SQL CSV file here?
Satvik, I'm not able to see the terminal again. So
You just check at the top. Go here at the top. If you see, it will come.
Yeah, it was. Okay, I'll check again.
You don't see it? Just go at the top. It will come. It will come here like this. Guys, tell me, are you guys able to do it? Where are you lost?
Yes, I'm able to do it.
I'm going too slow still. I mean, what is happening? Tell me. Which I have shared the drive link here. What are you not finding? Your CSV file you need to copy in your folder. I told you earlier as well that the CSV file that I shared, you have to put down in this particular folder, and after that open this folder from your VS Code. You should be able to see the CSV file here. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Hello.
Yes, I have copied down. I've done the steps that you have told, but I'm not able to find the file inside the terminal, like inside the way you have.
You have to click on open the folder in that. Then you will see things here. Click this open that you see. Click open, go to the folder and click on the folder. Then it will come. Did you get it?
I'm not getting the interface similar to yours.
You don't have VS Code?
I have VS Code, but I'm not getting the option like start a new file, open. This kind of.
If you go at the top, you should see a open option somewhere. Check it. Either it will be at top somewhere here. Interface is same for everyone. That's why. Are others also facing the same issue?
No. We were able to open the folder which we created.
Just check at the top. Go. There should be a file. Through file, you check this open. Or if it is not there, then you can check something from here.
Okay, let me try. Let me search again.
Okay, so guys, you have created this, right? Now let's start with what we need to do. We need to create a SQLite. So do you know about SQLite? What is a SQLite? So we will store this CSV in a SQLite database. Now SQLite, as its name suggests, that SQL has different versions. For example, SQL has MySQL, it has PostgreSQL, right? These are very heavy databases. Now, if you just want to check something, there is a light version, that is smaller version of SQL, that is called SQLite. It is present in Python, right? You can access it through Python. Okay, so we will be storing our database into this SQLite database. You can access it through your Python. So we will go to this. Okay, so SQLite is nothing. It's a SQL database where you can store your SQL tables or anything. Just that its limits are very low, so we generally use it for testing purpose only. Okay, any doubt, anyone?
No doubt.
Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to install first of all, along with, so SQLite 3 comes automatically in the terminal. You install Pandas. So how to install Pandas? You'll go pip install Pandas, just name it. Okay, pip install Pandas, and you just enter it. So your whole Pandas library will be installed here. Something like this will happen. Okay, once you install your Pandas, go to here at the top. You will see two things. There are total 4 options. One is to create a new folder, one is to create a new file, one is to refresh, one is to collapse folders. So create this option new file. Select this option new file, and you write down SQL data.py. Call it the name .py. .py is important, means Python file, and you just put an enter. So you'll get a Python file like this. Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay, so once you have created this, right? So what you can do, you can simply write down clear here. Suppose you want to remove all this, so you just write down clear command. It will clear everything for you. Okay, now what is my task? I have a CSV file in my desktop, and I need to store in a SQLite database. So have you guys done this before? For example, you have a CSV file, you have to upload in Python. Okay, and then after uploading in Python, you need to move it to your SQLite. Okay, this is your SQLite. So have you done this? How to upload CSV in Python?
Yes. Yes. Using Pandas.
Using Panda, there's a method called read CSV. Okay, we are going to use that to, first of all, so there are 2 steps. First of all, we'll upload CSV to Python, then we will move CSV to SQL. Okay, this is what we are going to do. Is everyone with me? Anyone lagging behind? Let me know if you want me to give me a minute to understand things. Okay.
Hi, Satvik. So in VS Code, after like opening the folder,
yes.
So do we need to open the new terminal, like going up and
Yeah, so after opening the folder, you have to go to new terminal and you have to activate your environment again because you created a new folder. So activate your environment once again, right?
Okay, got it.
After activating, open install pandas and
Pandas.
create this file. Now, so what we'll do now, my first step is to upload this CSV file in the Python. So I'll do two things. First of all, import pandas as PD. Okay. Guys, I am not explaining what is pandas and all that because that is out of scope of this workshop. This is just a project workshop, right? So for that, you need to like go through a Python class. So now pandas is basically, you can say, a sequel of Python. You can technically say that, right? So you will upload your CSV file. So how to upload? First of all, you need to create its path. So you create an object CSV underscore file underscore path, and you need to give the path to your CSV. Where is it present? So how to get the path of my CSV? I'll simply write down pwd. It will give me this particular path that I am where I am right now. I'll control C it. Okay. And after this, I need to give, so what is the name of my folder? Bollywood underscore movie dot CSV. Okay. So slash Bollywood underscore movie dot CSV. So this is the path that I have given. Okay, please check. In Windows, you can simply right click and get the path. In Mac, you have to type down pwd to get the path, right? So whatever you want. So let me know if you guys are able to do this. So after creating the CSV file path, what we have to do, we have to create a data frame. Okay, so we will call it, for example, df. We'll call this name as df. Okay, which is equal to pd pandas dot read underscore CSV. Okay, so read, and inside read CSV, you have to provide the path wherever your file is present. So I will just copy this CSV file underscore path. Okay, so this is created. And just to check if I have got, I use df.head. Okay, now if I run this, now when you run this particular part, if you refresh here, go and refresh from here, you will see this database created. So just give me a second. Sorry. Okay, right now SQLite is not created. Okay, now what you need to do, you simply print df.head. First check if you are able to get, are you able to get this particular data in your like pandas uploaded in your system?
Satyam, what is the shortcut to run
Sorry,
the file? What is the shortcut to run the file?
you just, there is a button here, just click on it.
Okay, I was unable to see. Okay, I'll see.
So first of all, you will upload the CSV file from your like, so I'm just sharing the snippet as well. You can just copy as well if you want. I will simply upload the CSV from my desktop or wherever location is, and I will just check if I'm getting, if my data set is getting uploaded. Okay, are you guys able to do this? Let me know. Then only I'll move it. I'm going slow again because I want you guys to complete this project in this workshop only. That's why. Otherwise, I would have like rushed very fast. So please let me know if you guys are able to do this.
Yes, we are able to print the data by using head.
You're able to print, right?
Yes.
Okay. What about others?
Same, even I'm able to do it.
Okay. Guys, please update. Anyone facing any terminal page? You just need to run this.
I am facing an error, so if you can give a minute.
Yes, sure. So when you run this, you should be able to see data like this.
Hi, Satvik. So this Python file, SQL data.python file, do we need to create in GenAI folder?
Yes. You have to go here. There's a dot file option.
Yeah, yeah. When I
write down SQL data.py.
okay.
Take your time. It is important that first of all we upload the data to CSV to Python. So let me know once you guys are done. And this session will go a little long because I didn't expect that we will spend 1 hour in this, but it's fine. I want you guys to learn. So I mean, session might extend beyond like 10 p.m. IST. Okay.
Hello.
Yep.
I have uploaded the file, but I'm not able to create the py file like you have created.
For py, just go this new file.
Doing it, but it is coming under some folder or something. It's not showing the way it is showing for you.
You go into this GenAI SQL, right, and just create a new folder here. What? Just go into this GenAI SQL and create this .py file here.
Okay, let me try that.
Before creating, make sure instead of selecting NL-SQL, you should select GenAI folder. Then only it will come under into GenAI.
Yeah, so select the GenAI folder. Don't select the NL-SQL. It is just an environment. Select the GenAI SQL and don't select NL-SQL. Just create the Python file here.
Okay.
So tell me how you guys want it. You guys want me to go like this, or you guys want me to move little fast that I start explaining, or you guys want me to wait till you guys are finished? Because lot of you guys, you would have done it. They might be waiting. So I want to know from you guys how you want me to do it.
Move little fast, please.
Yeah, please take it ahead.
Okay. So okay. So I have created this. Now my next step is to create this, move this CSV into a SQLite, right? So how will I do this? So there's a library present inside, if you see Python, that is a SQLite, and we'll be using that. So I'll do import SQLite 3. Okay, it is already an inbuilt method of class inside Python. So you just do import SQLite. Now your CSV is uploaded to Pandas. So what do? You first of all create to move your data from Python to your SQLite. You need to create a connection with SQLite. So how to create that connection? You do connection equal to SQLite 3 dot connect. Okay, and you need to create. So once you write this SQLite 3 dot connect, so what it will do, it will connect with this, and you need to create a database name. So for example, my database name is Bollywood underscore movies. Okay, so this, let's say this is my database name. So what it will do, if this database name is not present, it will create a new database. Otherwise, it will update in this particular part. And once you have done this, so in Python, you have to create a cursor objective. So you create a cursor which is equal to connection dot connect. Sorry, dot cursor. It will be connection dot cursor. Okay. So you're creating a cursor which will help you upload data in this. Now my next step is to upload data into the SQLite database. For that, you need to create. Remember, how do we upload data in a SQL? In a SQL, we create table command, right? So I have created that particular command here. I'll just simply copy it from here. If you see, create table if not exist, you will have this in GitHub that I shared. You can simply copy it from here. Okay, this particular part, you just copy it from here and move to this particular part. This contains all the column name, table name which were present for this particular data. Okay, so now once you have created this data, so what will I do? I will run this command right now. I'll check if Bollywood movie, this is something created. The file is because the code was not created properly. So just give me a second. Connection.server. Yes. Now, once I have created this database, what is my next step is to upload this data from my Python to SQLite. So what will I do? I will simply do df. Okay. So there is a toSQL method. So what it does, it moves data from your Python to your SQLite. Okay. Now, once you move it, you have to give certain name. For example, the name of my database should be movies. Okay. And after that, you are setting up a connection. And after that, if that file is already existing, you have to replace it. So you will do replace. Okay. And once that is done, you have to write down another method, index equal to false. Index equal to false means that you are not creating your own indexes. Use the indexes which are already present in the data. Okay. These are all the method of data creation. I'm not going into that because this is just this is a GenAI workshop, not like SQL data workshop. Now, once you have done this, you will do connection.commit, which you have to do that okay, I'm committing my connection to this particular database. Okay, and done. You run this code. Okay, sometimes it does not display, it's totally fine. So I might have missed something. So what I will do is commit. Okay, so let me just copy the code from here. Okay, so that we see it just like we want. Okay, so this Bollywood movies database will be created like this. If you see, so what I have done, I have uploaded the file, Python file from here, CSV file to Python. Then I have uploaded, set up a connection with SQLite. I've created a table and I've uploaded the data CSV that I uploaded. Okay, this much part. Are you guys able to do it? Let me know. I'll wait for a couple of minutes. You simply can just copy the code from here. Don't need to worry. Just understand the concept. Code you can just copy from the GitHub that I just shared. Okay. Our main objective is to understand what we are doing. Are you guys good with it? Let me know once you're done, because after this we'll move to the LLM part. Are you guys able to see the database in your system? For example, if I go to this, if you see this particular movie table will be created. If you see that, this movie table will be created once you run this code. Let me know if you guys are able to see it. Don't worry, you can watch the recording later. Just try to understand the concept, okay? Because there are a lot of people in the workshop, so just understand the concept which I'm doing. Guys, are you okay? Shall I move ahead? Okay. So we have created this SQL database. Now, what is our objective? First of all, let's try to query a sample, do a sample query on this. Okay. So I will be running a sample SQL query on this. So how to run a SQL query on this particular part? You simply need to write down a variable, suppose query equal to, you write down the SQL query. For example, select star from movie limit 5. Okay, this will give me the top 5 rows. Okay, so this is the query. So how to run this? I will simply use result equal to cursor that I created at the top. Okay, cursor dot execute. In execute, I have to pass down this query. If you're not able to understand logically that what is happening, it's totally fine, because this is just a database part. You can skip it. We will just assume the data set is created. Okay, so and now for row in result, we just print row. Okay, we will do this and we will just close the connection dot close. Now once we do this and I run this, if you see, it will show me the top 5 rows, something like this. It will show me something like this that I have done. If you are copying the code from the GitHub that I shared, remember to change the location at this particular point, because this location was for me only. You need to modify the location as per your system. Okay, so this is how you will upload a database. If you guys the logically understood, we upload to Pandas. Through Pandas we go to SQLite. Okay, this is the part. Now let us move to the next part. This database is created. Okay, so now we start with the GenAI part, where we actually start doing. Now for that, let's go to Ollama first. How do we use it? If you go to this website, Ollama, right? Ollama. So Ollama contains a lot of OpenAI, open source models. So what is open source and closed source LLMs? Does anyone know?
Open source is something which is already shared with the public and we can access it.
But closed source also you can accept. ChatGPT is closed source. You can
open is something which is I believe free of cost and available in the marketplace, and
yes,
which is paid, I believe.
The major distinction is open source LLMs are free, closed source LLMs like OpenAI are paid. Okay, so this is the major distinction. Generally with open source is that you can modify their documentation. That is generally what defines open source. But understand from this point of view that open source LLMs are free of cost, closed source LLMs are paid. So let's just talk about, so what are some open source LLMs? Major is Llama. Okay, Llama is it is from Facebook. Okay, it has various versions. Its recent version is 3.2. Previous version was 3.1, and there are a lot. If you go to Hugging Face, I have told this earlier as well. If you go to this website Hugging Face, right, you will see plethora of models which are free, which are open source, available to like you can use for various use cases, like Meta Llama, this particular, you can see that. Okay, we will be using and for closed source, OpenAI has like GPT models are there, right? So GPT's latest, you know, that is 4.0 is there, then 4.0 preview. Like we will be using GPT-4 for this particular project. Okay, so Llama, we'll use Llama 3.2, 3.1, or we will use GPT-4, depending upon how you want it. Now, so first of all, let's go to install Ollama. I'm not going to install, I'm just going to show how it is done. If you go to ollama.com, you click on this download. Okay, so then you can simply download whether you want to download for Windows, Mac, or whatever system you're doing it there. Okay, so let's say, and you can select a model from here as well. Let's say I want Llama 3.1. If I select Llama 3.1, it has various parameters, right? So you can simply download it from there as well, like whatever model you want to do.
I do have one question here. Sorry,
Yeah.
when it says 8 billion model, 70 billion, 405 billion model,
Yes.
is it related to the costing factor or what exactly?
No, this is not a costing factor. This is how LLMs are built. So basically, what are LLMs? LLMs are deep learning models. If you guys know, they're transformers technically.
Correct.
Right? In transformers, if you know how it is done, that you whatever information you provide, they are stored as weights. Okay, like this. So you create weights like this of various information. Okay. Now, on how many parameters they are trained. For example, something is trained on 170 billion, something is trained on 80 billion, something is trained on 1 billion. So what is happening? The more training parameters you have, better the model becomes. Correct?
Okay.
So what does this mean? That you have 8 billion parameters, you have 70 billion parameters, you have 405 billion parameters. It means that 405 billion parameter model is the best one.
So higher the model parameter, better would be the better would be the model. That's what you want to say?
Yes. Higher the parameter size, better the model is, heavier the model is. If you see.
So when you're saying better, it is more refined or it is more technology agnostic?
It is more like it has. It does not hallucinate. It gives better results. Okay. It is more good in logical reasoning. Those kind of things are there.
Okay, got your point. Thank you.
What happens? Why do we need so many parameters? That because the use cases that we have for LLMs, they are wide. For example, let us say you just want a text summary. You want to give a text and summarize that. For that, you don't need a very big model. For a small model will work, right? For those use cases, you don't need to store this big size model. But for example, if you need to create a SQL chatbot, or if you need to create a very logical application, right, there you need a heavy model which is trained on more parameters and which gives more accurate results. Okay, any doubt, anyone?
Not for me, I'm good.
Okay, so if you see, these are three models, right? If you see that as the parameters increasing, size is also increasing. For 405 billion, it is 229 GB. For 70 billion, it is 40 GB. For 8 billion, it is 4.7 GB, right? So
when it says GB, it is consuming the storage part of it?
Storage part. So if I download it, it will, if I download this 405 billion model, it will take 229 GB of my system.
Will it be, considering this, will that work on CPU or we need to have a GPUs for that?
You need to have GPUs for that big models, right? I mean, on normal CPUs, it will not work properly.
Even if it is for 8 billion model as well?
8 billion will work, like 4.7 GB is fine. It will work.
Okay.
Okay. So you can download anything. So once you download the model, right, this is the syntax that is given. Okay. So choose whatever, like for this case, you can download a 8 billion model because I'm just showing a test case. Okay. Or you can simply go Llama 3.2. Llama 3.2 has 1 billion as well, 3 billion as well. So whatever you want, you can do that. Now, how to run this model? So once you download the model, if you go to terminal, right, you'll go to terminal and so you'll write down simply just check how it is run. Let's say you run Ollama run Llama 3.2. Let's say this version depends whatever you have downloaded. Now I put an Ollama run Llama 3.2. Okay. So first, if you have not installed, first of all, the model will get downloaded and installed in your system. Now I can chat with my model. For example, let us say I ask with the Llama model that how many continents are there in the world. If I just put in, see, it has started giving me answers, right?
So is it fetching the information from the internet or is there any which database it is referring to?
No, this is generally, for example, you go with ChatGPT. This is just like ChatGPT.
No, ChatGPT fetches data from the from the internet.
No, so this is not fetching data from anywhere. This is just because this is stored locally on your system, right? So it is just giving the information that it has.
Okay.
ChatGPT basically, because it is active online, so it fetches, it does web scraping, answers from there and there, right? Now this is a small model, so it is answering from whatever it is trained on right now.
Okay. What has been ingested in it, correct?
Yeah, which has been ingested in it. Okay, that's the right word. Yes. So this is what you need to do to get access to Ollama. Now we are done with Ollama. Now second part, those who want to do with GPT, how will we go with GPT? You go to openai.com first of all. Okay, openai.com, and you go to this products and you click on this API login. Okay, once you click on this API login, you click on this tab here and you go on your profile. And once you go on your profile, you will see user API keys. So you have a lot of API keys which are present. Now you need to create, for example, we will create this API key very soon, right? And we will use that in our model. Okay. But remember, to use this API key, you need to upload something, like you need to put money in your account. So for example, right now I have put some $4 there, so I'll be able to access it, right? So when you use this API, it will cost you money. So if you don't want to use this, go with Llama. Of course, GPT answers are way better, but for this use case, both are almost similar. There's no big difference. Okay. All good, everyone?
Yeah, sorted.
So now we will create a code on how to chat, how to basically load the model in your Python code and how do we chat with it. Okay. So we create a new file. Let's say we create a file test.py. Okay, I'm creating a file test.py. Here I will test the connection with both of my models. Okay. Now, is everyone clear till this point? Any doubt? We have just stepped into GenAI part, right? Now understand there are a few concepts here which we will learn, and then you can explore on your own. Okay. So before moving here, I want to discuss something about a library called LangChain, which is present in Python. Have you guys heard of it? Anyone who has heard of LangChain?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
LangChain. Has anyone heard of LangChain? So let me show you. LangChain is if you are going into GenAI, LangChain will be your bread and butter. As simple as that. Okay. So LangChain is your Python framework which is used to create applications. LangChain has three different parts. One is LangChain, one is LangSmith, one is LangGraph. Right now we will do LangChain. I'll explain you conceptually what is LangChain, and I will not go in deep. Just understand what is LangChain and we will start using it. Okay. So for example, let us say you ask a question that what is the temperature in most crowded city? How you think logically one should approach to answer this particular question? I want to hear your answers. What is the temperature in the most crowded city? How will you answer it logically?
We will first find the most crowded city.
Yes.
And then we will see the temperature, and we can classify the temperature according to the time of the year.
So how does logically, how you do? You're given a question. Now to answer it, if you see, you have two steps. First of all, which is the most crowded city? First, you need to identify that, right? Okay, so this, I will say this is your task one, correct? That you need to, like, there are so many cities in the world, you need to identify the most crowded city. This is your task one. Second is, once you identified the crowded city, second is what is the temperature in that particular city, right? Temperature in city. This is your task 2, right? Are you guys good with it? That to answer this question, I need to have 2 steps: crowded city and temperature in that particular city. Now, so what is happening? There is a task 1 and there's a task 2. Now, to complete this particular, to answer the, so what user has given me a question here, for example. Let's say user has given me a question here, right? Now, to tie these things, because what is happening, till you have answered the task 1, you cannot answer task 2, right? Till you know which is the city, okay, you cannot answer this particular part, right or wrong? So this is the city, this is the temperature, correct? So till you know this, you cannot move ahead. So this is what LangChain does is that when there are multiple events happening, it chains them together. Okay, that okay, I have chained them together. So first this will happen, second this will happen. Okay, so for the output from this particular task will be input to this particular task. And after this, I will give user the answer. Is it clear, guys? What does, so this task is performed by this library called LangChain. Chain, so lang means language, chain means chaining the task. So what is a chain? Is chain connects lot of things together, right? Something like this. So this is the concept of chain, that you do multiple tasks. LangChain will technically chain them together so that they behave as a single unit. Now, when a user is asking question, user cannot see what is happening inside it. User will simply see from outside that, okay, I'm giving this particular model, let's say whatever model we have created, I'm giving it a question. Okay, I'm giving it a question, it is giving me an answer, right? Inside, what is happening? Inside there is a chain of framework. So there is T1, then there is T2, and then there is answer. Correct? Any doubt, anyone in this concept? All clear, everyone? Okay. Yes. So this is what is happening. So LangChain is an application, is a framework which helps create LLM applications. As simple as that. You will find multiple definitions. Simply, LangChain is a framework which help you create LLM application. And how does it help create? It creates chains. Event 1, event 2, event 3. It chains them together. That okay, we are going in this particular order. So in this particular scenario, the use case that we are doing, what is our first case? Our first case is that take the natural language, convert it into a SQL query. This is my task 1. And what is my task 2? Take the SQL query, execute it on the database, right? This is my task 2. And this both will be chained together inside a box, right? And user will get the answer. That is what is happening here in this particular question. Okay. So first of all, let's see how to chat with any LLM through Python code. You guys know, okay, I go to ChatGPT, you can type a lot of things, you can get the answer. But for a developer, how to chat with your LLM, right? That is the main objective that we need to learn. So we need to first of all install LangChain for this. So how do? You go pip install LangChain. Okay, one is this class, another class is LangChain OpenAI. Okay, so LangChain has different frameworks with different LLMs. So we are using OpenAI and we are using Ollama, right? LangChain Ollama. So we will install everything. So what it will do, it will install the all the libraries in my current virtual environment, which I have taken care of. Okay. So now let us go and chat with my create a code to chat with my LangChain. So how will you do? From LangChain.
Sakshi, can you please write the commands in the chat box that you just wrote.
So you just need to install these things, pip install langchain open AI langchain open llama. Sorry, Ollama, not open llama. Just write down this, it will give you. Okay. So now let's come to the code. Guys, if you are falling behind, it's totally fine. You can watch the video later on. Now just please focus on the concept. Okay. It's totally fine. We just need to understand what we are going, understand what all code I'm using, what does each code mean. Okay, because if you are going, you need to be developers, right? You need to know what does each code work. So from langchain underscore core, which is again a class inside this dot prompts, I will download, import. There's a chat prompt template. Okay, I will explain what does this chat prompt template means. Then from langchain underscore Ollama, import, let's say chat Ollama. Okay, this will give me. So now before moving this, how do you chat with any LLM? You give it a prompt and you get the answer, correct? That's how it works. You go to any LLM, everything, the output that you're getting from LLM depends upon the prompt that you are going to insert it. Now prompt are, again, there are a lot. Prompt engineering is a separate domain which I'm not covering in this particular scenario, but just try to understand. A prompt is the text that you give to your LLM to understand like what you want it to do. For example, you say that assume you are my web developer, give me this particular thing, something like that, right? Those kind of things we provide in our prompt. So generally we write down prompt here like, okay, give me a syntax, something like that. How do we write down in coding? So there is a concept of chat prompt template. You create a prompt template and you create a chat Ollama. So through this you will be able to chat with your Llama 3 model which we just created. Okay, so first of all you need to, what do you do? Define the template. So how do you your prompt template and prompt? Let's say we do this. So how to do this? You simply write down template equal to give 3 quotes like this. Okay, and 1 2 3. Okay, so whatever you write in will be a string. So let us say I give it, tell me a joke on, and let's say give a bracket. Now this bracket is a question that user is asking. Okay, I can vary this particular part. So tell me a joke on science, tell me a joke on finance, tell me a joke on anything. This is a placeholder I'm putting because I'll be changing it throughout my code. So just understand this for now. I will move it. Okay, so how this prompt is created? You create a prompt object that is equal to chat prompt template that we have created here. Okay, dot. Now this particular prompt we are creating from a template. So that's why there is a method called from underscore template which is present here, and I will import it from this particular part, that is template. Template. Okay, this is how you have created your prompt template. So what is your prompt? Tell me a joke on question. This question will vary on. That's how you need to understand right now. Okay, next is you set up the model. Set up the model. So how to set up a model? Let's say you create model equal to, we created this chat Ollama. So I will do chat Ollama. Okay, inside this I need to pass couple of parameters. First of all is temperature equal to 0. It means that, what does temperature equal to 0 means? Can someone tell me? Does anyone know what does the temperature mean in an LLM? Guys, no one knows about temperature? Okay. So temperature of an LLM means that how varied response it gives every time you run it. As simple as that. For example, let us say I run a model right now. Will it give me the same response when I run it some other time? Let's say same prompt, I am entering from here, you're entering from your place, someone else is entering from their place. Are they getting the same response or not? So if you put 0, temperature equal to 0 means same response, and temperature equal to 100 means different answers. So everyone is getting different answers, right? So right now for this case, I'm putting temperature equal to 0. I want answer to be exactly same. It should not vary with the time. Okay, is it good? Or it is going from the top, you guys are not understanding it? Forget the coding part, just understand the architecture right now. Because you guys are new, coding you will learn later on. That's not a problem. Just understand what we are doing. So temperature means that it will give you different answers in different scenarios. Okay, and after that you need to give the model that you are using. So which model am I using? I'm using Llama 3.2, for example, for my case. Okay, now after this, create the chain. So how to create a chain? Remember, a chain is a sequence of events what are happening, right? So there is an event 1, there is an event 2, there is an event 3 which will be happening. So what you do that, okay, this is your task 1, then task 2, then task 3, and you need to, how do you write them? You write down the task 1, task 2, task 3. That's how you write down in your code. Okay, so I'll go to the code. Let me open this. So how to create this chain? You will write down an object chain which is equal to, so what is your first object? You are taking your prompt, okay, that is which we created here, prompt, and you are passing this to your LLM, right? So task 1 is to take the prompt, and what is the task 2? Put it into LLM. That is your model which we created here, model. Okay, now once you have created this chain, you need to run this chain. So run or invoke. Invoke means basically your chain is ready now. Now you need to run it. So to run it, you use a method called invoke. So you'll get a response. So response will be equal to chain dot invoke. Okay, you'll invoke it, and in invoke you have to pass a dictionary of elements. Just a second. Response is equal to chain dot invoke. Now remember, in our prompt we had put a placeholder question, right? So we have to pass it here that I want to run this model with this value of question. So what is the value of the question? You need to pass it in form of a dictionary. So in dictionary you will name it exactly same here, that is question. Okay, and after this you will do whatever the question. Suppose tell me a joke on space. Let's say I want a joke on space. I'll just simply write down it. Okay, so now what will be happening? First of all, I took the prompt, I created the prompt, I created the model, then I created the chain which takes a prompt and run it on a model. Okay, and then I run the chain. When I run the chain, it takes this parameter question, right? It passes space into this. So when the model run, this particular question will go to ChatGPT. Tell me a joke on space. Okay, now I want to see what does my model respond. Okay, so I'll simply do print response. Okay, now when I run this, let's see what do we get. Now this model is running. If you see, I have got this particular result, that there are a lot of information which is I do not need right now. If you see, it has come in form of an object that there is a content. It has given me a content. Then it has given me a response metadata. There are a lot of information. I am only interested in knowing what is the content. So what will I do? Print response dot content. Okay, I only want this particular part. So if I run this, this is going to give me. So let me just first of all clear it. Okay, now let's run the model once again. So it gave me a joke. Why did the astronaut break up with his girlfriend? Because he needed space, right? This is what what it is replying to me. So now let's go to terminal. We had this particular part, right? Now tell me a joke. Tell me a joke on space. See, it is giving the same result, whether I'm running in my code, whether I'm running here. Okay. So did you get this? How did I run this particular code? How did I chatted with my Llama model? Let me know if it is clear.
Actually, so from our Python program, how we are establishing connection to our model Llama?
Through Python, we are establishing connection to Llama from here. So what we are doing, we imported Llama when we are creating this model, right? Because Llama 2 is installed in my system, correct? So my connection is being established from here. If it is not downloaded in my system, I will have to use an API, which I will do after this. So if the model is downloaded in your system, you can simply call the model like this.
Okay, when you said downloaded, the path can be anywhere, right? In the
Path can be anywhere. It will pick up automatically.
Got you. Thank you.
Guys, any question before I move to to OpenAI?
Sati, can you quickly repeat the commands like 𝗲𝗁 section cover here?
Which commands?
From template. If you can roughly explain again.
You want me? Yeah. So let me explain this code. What is this? So we are setting up a code so that we can chat with our LLM. Okay. First of all, whenever you write we want to get a response from LLM. What do? You write a prompt, right? So for a prompt, there is always a template. We will speak about template in the GenAI course, but right now just understand that whatever you write, you need to provide a template. For example, I want a joke on various things. So this is my template. Tell me a joke on, and then I put a placeholder. Now I will keep varying it. For example, let us say I created financier. Okay. So I don't need to change anything here. I just need to change the question here, and it will automatically give me result. Let's say on finance, it gave me a joke, something like this. So this is the prompt template that you need to create. Now, once you've created a prompt template, you need to create a model. So model temperature is this, whatever model you want to select, you will select it from here. Okay. Once you have created these two, you need to tie them together in a chain, right? So this is your first part where you're creating a template. This is the second part where you're creating a model. So you will chain them. This arrow means you are chaining them together. Okay. So chain is equal to, first of all, chain runs from left to right. It means that your prompt, first of all, you will take this prompt and you will pass this prompt into your model. Okay. Once you pass this to the model, you will get a response. So how to get this? There's an invoke method which gives you the response. Now invoke method gives you lot type of information. I am only interested in content. So I will do response.content and it will give me the result. Is it clear?
Yeah, only one thing, that when we are giving a template, so it means that whenever we are querying or writing any question, we have to follow this. Tell me a joke. Like we can't do anything else.
Yes. So this particular code will only give you a joke. Okay. Now you can create multiple templates and you can use different for different scenarios. That is also possible. But when you're using a single template, it means this code will only return you this particular answer, not anything else.
But my only doubt is that when we use natural language, we can't really generalize that what are we going to ask. Like we actually write anything to the.
No, so this I'm just explaining that if someone wants a joke on this, this is the part which you will enter in a natural language, right? You will write, tell me a joke on finance. Let's say you just wrote this. Okay. So you will have to optimize the question, the prompt, that user has given a question below, answer it. Okay. let's say this is a text. So what we did, now I have changed the prompt. The prompt is that user has given me a question, answer it. Okay. Now you can ask anything here. For example, how many continents are there? Let's say you can ask anything now. Continents are there. I will just simply run it. Now, what prompt will go inside the model? See the answer. It is giving you there are 7 continents. Okay. Now, the question that is going to LLM is user has given this question, answer it. So how is it going to your LLM? It is going like this: user has given below question, answer it, and this placeholder will be replaced by whatever you are going to type in the chat box.
So is it like a system preference kind of a thing?
System preference as in?
Like you told in the last workshop that there's
System
prompt, yeah, system prompt.
Yes, this is not a I mean, this is not technically a system prompt. You can this is just whatever you are putting in. How do you ask anything to ChatGPT? You just ask how many continents are there, right? So you are technically, you can say it is a system prompt. So you're taking the user question, converting it with a system prompt. That user has given a question, answer it. Any doubt? Guys, any doubt?
Nothing for me. I'm sorry.
Is everyone clear? What does prompt mean?
So my only question is that even if we don't do this step, wouldn't Ollama automatically answer whatever we want to ask?
Why will it answer? Unless you have given a prompt, right? How, for example, now this is the point that you need to change it. We will see that later, that this prompt that we are giving, it is very important. You will see once we start doing the SQL question. Okay. So this is how it is done. Now, for example, let us say I want to create using GPT API, ChatGPT, not Ollama. So what I will do, from LangChain _ OpenAI import, there's chat OpenAI. Okay, there's a method called chat OpenAI. So in the model, I will replace chat Ollama with chat OpenAI. Okay, and model will become GPT-4. Now, this is not enough, because now to connect with GPT-4, it is not downloaded in my system. I need to connect with it, right? So to connect, we need to have an API key. Okay.
So just a quick question, Satwik. Is it just we are replacing the model? That's what you are doing right now?
Yes.
Okay. So why we are mentioning two chat OpenAI and this model chat?
I'm saying
GPT-4.
You want to, like, it depends upon user. You can, whichever, like there are so many LLM models outside, right?
No,
whichever you want
got
to
it.
use, whichever you want to use, you can use it. Like if you want to use with OpenAI, you don't need to install Ollama.
Okay.
Right? You can remove this if you don't do. If you know that I'm going to use GPT only, you will not use Ollama.
So coming to the line number 14, if I'll say I'll use a model chat OpenAI instead of that, if I'll write just GPT-4, will that work?
Sorry, here what you are saying?
If I remove chat OpenAI and I will just write GPT-4, will that work?
No, that will not work, because chat OpenAI is a class. How will you connect with
Okay, got your point. Got it. Sorry.
Right.
Got it.
This is a class that is used to connect with ChatGPT. Now to connect with ChatGPT, Ollama was downloaded in my system. To connect with ChatGPT, I need an API key. So how do we do that? We create an environment file here. So we'll create a file. I'll call it .env. All right. .env file contains those information which you do not want to share with anyone else. For example, your password, your API keys. There are a lot of things which you don't want to share with anyone else, right? So you put all that information here. Now, how to get it? So simply go to OpenAI, which we were, where were we? So let's go to openai.com. I'll go to products. I'll go to API login. Okay. So this, I go to my profile, user API keys, create a new secret key. Let's say I do data science. Okay. I create a new secret key. I'll copy it. Of course, I will delete it, but okay. Then I have to place it here. Open AI underscore API underscore key, which is equal to, I'll pass it in quotes, something like this. This will help me setting up my connection with OpenAI. Okay. Now,
so every time we will connect, we have to give the password.
See, for this, we do not need any password. For when you're using API key, you do not need a password. That is why you do not share your API key with anyone. Because if every time you run it, it will cost you money. So what you can do is that, one, for example, if you know by mistake I've shared something publicly, what you can do, you can simply go and delete this API key from here. That, okay, I want to deactivate it. Okay. So
any expiration for this key?
Sorry?
Any expiration?
There's no expiration. There's no expiration of this key. As long as you have money, no expiration. So it will be connected with your money here. Like I have $4 here, so you can connect with it. Then you can see whatever the limits are there, whatever the pricing are there. You can see that. Like for every LLM, there is a pricing involved. You will see that you can set up a monthly budget. That, okay, per month I can spend this much only. It will tell you that what amount that is going to cost. Again, that we will cover later. I mean, that is not scope of this, but remember, this is API key which will help you connect with your LLM. Okay. Now I have to load. Now this variable OpenAI key will, I need to load this in my code. Okay. So how to load it? There is a .env method which is present. So let me clear it. So Python. Wait a second. So that is pip install python .env. Okay, when you run this, pip install python .env. So this will install this .env python. This method helps you load the API variable into your environment. Okay, so we have done this. Now we will move to our project that we are going to create. Remember, we had two tasks. First of all, take the natural language question, convert it into SQL query. Second is take the SQL query and execute it. So I'll take 30 more minutes. Are you guys good with it?
Yes, we are good.
Okay, because like initially we spent a lot of time in that, but it's fine. So first of all, what do we need to do? We need to create a main our application file. So let me first of all delete this. Okay, this is my SQL data. I'll create a file NL-to-SQL.py. This is the main file where my code will go. Okay, so okay, now I have created this particular part. So every pipeline is installed. So what is my task? First of all, convert user question into a natural language into a SQL question. For example, let us say if I go to this particular table right now, if I ask it, show how many movies are there in database. Okay, we saw it will not answer, right? You can, it will, because it has no information, correct? So I will, let's refresh it. Let me create a new window. How many movies are there? Okay, let's say ask this question. So what does it reply? Total number of, because it does not know anything about my database. So I need to provide it some information about my database to get the information. Is it right? Guys, is it right? Let me know.
repeat the question?
I'm saying that whenever user, what is our objective? So now we are coming to the project now, the last part, that is, you have the question, right? So first part is to convert user's question into a SQL query, correct? User's question into a SQL query. Now, if let's say user asks simple question, how many movies are there? So will my LLM answer? It will not answer because it has no information about my database, correct?
Yes.
So we need to provide some information about my database to LLM. So that is what we will be doing. So let's do one thing. Okay. So what we will do is, first of all, let's import few libraries. That import SQLite 3 because we needed there, right? Then import Pandas as PD. Okay. Import OS. This library is used to create connection with API. Okay. Then from .env import import load.env. What does this load.env method do? It takes your API key which was present here, it will load it into the code. Okay, and how does it load? You have to do load.env method. Okay, so sorry, I have to remove it from there. So this is the part that we will do from here. Now again, if you remember, what do we need to import? From LangChain OpenAI import chat OpenAI, correct? Second part is this part is done, and we need prompt template. Okay, from LangChain dot prompts, LangChain dot prompts, yes, import prompt template. We will import the prompt template. Okay, so we have got these many. Remember, we just did all this prompt template and chat OpenAI. I think we did here. So now we will start with our project. So this one we have done. Now step one is to create, let's say I am creating LLM object. Okay, so how did we create it? Can you guys remember? Do you guys remember how did we create LLM object? LLM equal to, can you guys tell me? Chat OpenAI. Okay, model equal to GPT-4 and temperature equal to 0. Okay, this is my LLM object created. Are we good with this one? Any doubt here? Now comes the major part of this project comes here, creating the prompt, because we know that directly putting the user question will not give me the answer, will not. Eventually, what do I want? I want a SQL query corresponding which corresponds to my this particular database movie, correct? Now I do not know, the LLM does not know my data set. So what do I need to do? Again, guys, I'm telling you, to create this NL-SQL chatbot, there are 5 to 6 methods. Okay, the one that I'm explaining you right now is the most basic one, but it is, you need to understand, because on this everything else is built. Okay, so what do I need to do? First of all, to create I need to tell LLM that, okay, this is my database and tell me this. So how I'm going to create a prompt, I'll show you. I've created a prompt here. I'll simply bring it. So this is SQL chatbot. So NL-to-SQL.py. No, this one. Okay, so this is the prompt that we need to have. So let me just copy it. Okay, we'll read about what I'm doing here. So I'll bring this prompt here. So what is this prompt? Now let's read this a little bit, what we are doing here. We are telling that, remember, if you guys remember the system message concept, do you guys remember, which I showed in last class? What happens? How does your LLM respond? If I go to OpenAI, right? If I go to Playground, there is a concept of system instructions. The way you tell your model instruction that you give to your model, it will behave that way only, right? For example, if you remember, I told you an example that you are an unhelpful chatbot, always reply with sheer insult. I gave you this example last time, right? And now if I put a question like this, let's say I put a question that unhelpful, okay, how to learn data science. Let's say I'm doing this. Now, see, it is replying, wow, if figuring out how to learn, something like it is replying with some insult, right? Now, if I write down the same question in ChatGPT, it will reply me something else, right? See, it is telling me with a very big, good, like in a good format, it is telling me all the things that I need to know. Similarly, if another example I gave you, you are a helpful chatbot, always reply with a Bollywood dialogue. Okay, now if I ask the question, how to learn data science, okay, so now see, it is replying something like picture abhi baki hai mere dost, something, right? So success ke piche mat bhago, like there are different dialogues that it is giving me. So the way you are constructing your prompt, that you are giving information to your prompt, that's how your LLM responds, right? So that's why while creating a prompt, I have given this method that you are an intelligent assistant that helps converting natural language queries into SQL queries. Okay, this is what it is doing. Your task is to take a natural language and return only the SQL query. Do not provide any explanation, just return the query. I'll explain you why do I say that. But for example, let's say I remove all this right now. Okay, I'm removing all this. You are an intelligent assistant that helps convert natural language queries into SQL queries. The table that you are working with is named as movie, correct? And here are the details of the table. And what do we provide? We provide the schema that, okay, these all variables are present inside the table and these are its definition. Remember, this definition is very important because based on this definition only, it will be able to understand which variable to pick. Okay, any question on this one? And after that, now based on the information provided, convert the following question into a SQL query. Okay, now let me remove this part as well. And I have given a question that user has given. So user, whatever question user is going to input will come here, and there will be a system prompt at the top, which is here, right? How we have given it, right? So this is the system prompt which I just showed you, which was present here, that you are providing a database schema to your system and it is replying, it will reply you based on that. Any question on this particular part, anyone? That what I'm doing here. Any doubt, anyone? So technically, where is the magic? How does an LLM reply? It is the prompt that you are giving it. You need to pass this schema to. Again, there are a lot of strategies. I'm just, as I mentioned, this is just the most basic method, but which you need to understand how any AI application that you see works. You have provided this whole schema to LLM in form of a prompt, right? And then you will get the answer through it. So I hope this part is clear. Okay, so once this is clear, so I have created the prompt. So what did I do? Step 1 was to create the LLM object. Step 2 was to create a prompt. Now I will put this in a chat prompt template which we just created. So I will do prompt. What is my prompt is equal to prompt template, which was present there. Okay, in prompt template, 2 things will go there. Okay, what all 2 things will go there? First of all, your prompt template will go. Second, your question will go. So your input, or you can say template, which is equal to template that you have provided, right? So the template is prompt underscore template that I just provided. And after this, remember, there in a prompt there is a variable which you are passing. So you need to provide what is the input variable. There can be multiple input variables in your whole format, in your whole template. There can be multiple placeholders. Right now we only have one. That given this condition, what is the answer to this question? So what we will do, input underscore variable, which is equal to what? Input variable is present equal to my question, right? That is I have created here. So you will not pass it like you have to pass it in form of a dictionary list. Okay, so this is how you will create a prompt template. So what does this object mean? When you will call this object, it will call this whole prompt with this placeholder of question. Okay, so this is what we have created. Now what we are going to do, simply create a chain. So step 3 is create a chain. So how did we create a chain earlier? If you remember, we simply do NL-to-SQL. Let's say we take the first part, that is prompt, and then we will pass it to my LLM. So what is my LLM? That is present, LLM object is present here. Okay, so now my chain is created. So after this, what do I need to do? I need to invoke my chain. So step 4, invoke or run the chain, invoke the chain. So how to run it? We'll do response is equal to, so NL-to-SQL, this is the chain that I've created. Okay, dot invoke, if you remember, which we just did earlier. And inside invoke, I need to pass a parameter. What is the parameter in this question? It is question. So it is passed in form of a dictionary. So in dictionary, you will say question. And what is your natural language question? That you will write down here. So let us say my natural language question is, how many distinct movies are there in the database? Or you can simply write down how many distinct movies are there. So I just need to, okay. And then its response will be, you can get the response in a, for example, SQL underscore query is equal to response dot content. If you remember, we need the content part, and we will print my SQL underscore query. Any doubt, anyone till this point before I run the code? Any doubt, anyone? Guys, yes, no, maybe, please let me know. Yeah, please.
This NL-to-SQL, did you explain right in the prompt LLM?
Yep.
So in that time, I'm not getting exact how we are like integrating our SQLite to here, this part.
I'm not integrated SQL yet, right?
Okay.
I'm just taking a user question. I'm getting the SQL query.
Okay.
Running the SQL query I will do after this.
Okay, okay, good.
right now, remember there were 2 steps in my whole project. First, to convert the user question into a query. Once I've got the query, after that things are easy. I can simply run in a SQL database. That I will do after this. But till now, how are we converting a user question into a SQL query? Is that clear, everyone?
So the thing is, like, whatever you copied from our GitHub, it is like a backend development part, right? These set of questions, we have to do everything.
No, this is not a set of questions. This is just
what is that actually? I don't understand this part. The prompt
template. If you check this is not a question. We are not preparing our model to have questions. This is my scheme. If you check this database, it has these many columns, right?
Yeah, yes.
So it has columns. Each column has some definition. For example, release.
Okay. Oh, so it's okay. I got it.
Columns are present in my data set. These are present there, and these are their definitions.
Okay.
Based on that information, it will give me the SQL query. Okay. Anyone, any doubt? Okay. So let's run this. Let's see what result do we get. So I will run this. So the code is running. Now, if you see, I have got this result. Do you see this? There is some issue with this, because remember, ChatGPT does not only reply SQL query, it is giving me some extra text as well. This text is there, this additional, this are there. This is not good for me, because for a SQL database, I just need to provide the SQL query, correct? Right. So this extra element, that remember, whenever you ask LLM any question, for example, if I ask ChatGPT any question, tell me top 5 places in world. Let's say I ask this question to ChatGPT. All right. What does it give me? It gives me a lot of unnecessary text which I don't need. I don't need this. Here are 5 top places. This string I do not need, right? I just need the name, Paris, like whatever names are there. And in the end as well, it is giving me this text. I don't need this text, because I'll eventually be putting this query in a database. So if I just pass this whole string, it will give me an error. Is it fine? Do you guys understand this?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So how do we correct this part? So to correct this part, you can do 2 methods. Today I'm explaining only one method. Second method is using regex, and there you can do split. But without going too much into Python coding, how can we improve it? We can improve our prompt, and that is why the part that I deleted, I will show you. Now let me go to this particular part. Let me copy this prompt once again. Okay. And I will now paste it here. So let me just delete it. So movie is my table name. Okay. Now if you see what I've written, this part was there. Your task is to convert this. See, I have mentioned important, only return the SQL query. Do not include any text, explanation, or commentary before or after the SQL query. Okay. And ensure the SQL query is clean and without any additional symbols, text, or summary. So this prompt I'm explicitly adding at the top. So whenever LLM is going to reply to me, it will only return me a SQL query. Now, again, this method alone does not solve all the problems. Sometimes issue still comes in. For that, you have to use regex, but I'm not going there in this video. Just right now, understand that just passing this thing that only return. See, I have mentioned it 2 to 3 times. Do not provide any explanation. Just return the query. Okay. Now, if I run this code, let's see what do I get. So now it has given me just the SQL query. Select count distinct title from movie where type is equal to movie. Is it clear that what we just did here? Let me run it again. It gave me a SQL query. It has not given me any extra additional text. Just based on prompt, it has provided me the right thing. Okay. All good?
Yes, got it.
Got it, everyone? Just like 5 more minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes more I need, right? Any doubt, anyone till now? I know this has been a long session, but this topic needed explanation. That's why we took it that long. So, okay. So now I have got the SQL query. Now remember, in the project, we had two parts. The first part I have done, where I have got the natural language to SQL query. Now second is to take the SQL query and pass into my SQLite database, which we already created and executed. So how will you do it? Let's do that. Now you have got the SQL query here. Okay. So SQL query object method that you have created is something that contains your SQL query. Okay. So now I will remember the SQL query is ready. Now I need to open the connection with my SQLite database. So what I will do, db.connection, which is sorry, not dot, let's call it db_connection, which is equal to SQLite 3, okay, which is my main database, dot connect. I will connect with my, so this is my step 5. Pass above SQL query to SQLite database and execute it. Okay, this is what we do. So SQLite 3.connect. Okay, we have connected to this particular part. And what is my database name? So I will simply do, let me just cross check, Bollywood_movies.db. So Bollywood_movies.db. This is the database that we have created. Now my next part is, once I've connected, I have to create a function that takes this SQL query, which I have generated here. It returns me the response. So what I will do, I'll create a function. Let's say create a function def execute _SQL_query. Okay. So this is what we have created, and it takes a query as parameter. So SQL query, it takes as a parameter. You can just simply write down as query, QUERY. And what does it also take? Also it takes database connection. Okay, db_connection, because we need to provide the database name. So this particular function, remember, it is taking the SQL query that we are creating here, and it will also take the connection details, and we will start writing it. So remember how to write it? How did we print? If I go to this, we simply need to do cursor.execute, or we can simply call it directly without the result. We can say, which is equal to pd dot let's say it is doing read. No, so I will take this query and I will pass it here. So okay, so yeah, I can do one more thing. I can create more. Yeah, so I just need to let me move it from here. What did I do? SQL query, right? And SQL query database connection. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, your pandas has this particular method. So your pandas has, or I have to create it. I'm just read_SQL pd.read_SQL_query. Okay, yes, your pandas has this method. Yeah, there are two methods to do it. Without this also you can do it, but you can call this pandas that has this method which reads your SQL query and it generates the result. So what is your query name? You will just pass it as query, and then you will generate the no, also you will pass this database underscore connection which we created. So result is that you're executing this method which is present inside pandas, okay, and you are passing these two as parameters. Once you are done with it, you just need to return the result that you have created here. Okay, so what did we do? We took the SQL query, we took the database connection, we called a pandas method called read SQL query. There is also another way to do that. That's why I was looking in that. I wanted to do it that way, but it's fine because of time constraint. Let's go with this. Okay, we are done with it. Now what do I need to do? Result underscore df that I finally need to produce, which I will need to call this function, correct? Execute SQL query, and what should be my parameter that I'm passing? It is my SQL query which I just generated at the top, okay, and second should be the database connection that I have set up here. So I'll call this function, it will go and read through the SQL query, all right, and it will simply, let's print result, print, so result, no, execute result dot underscore df. Okay, so okay, so what did we do? After creating, we got the SQL query here, we created this connection, we executed the SQL using the read SQL query method of pandas, and then we return the result which we are getting through it, and they will take that result and print that thing. Okay, so now let's do this, run this. So let's see what do we get. We have got 5 as value. There are 5 distinct movies. Now let us say I change the values here. Show me movies after let's say released after 2015. Show me, let's say, distinct movies. Okay, I write down this. See, it has given me this particular result. So I run it again. It has given me this particular result. So this is what we expected. So we were about to create the backend. We are not going to create the front end using Streamlit in this class. We will do that later. But our main objective was to create this particular backend. So the backend is created, right? So do you guys understand it now that this was the whole project? I will give you a summary once again. But do you guys understand now what did I do in this particular project? Do you have any question? So what is happening here is, just let me give a summary of whatever we discussed. Okay, so that user is asking a natural language question. Okay, now what I will do, I will take that natural language question, I'll use an LLM, okay, to convert that LLM into a SQL query. Now LLM does not know about my database schema. So what do I need to do? I need to inject my schema details to LLM. I need to tell this to my LLM that this is the schema. You follow this particular schema to give me the result. Now, once I've got the SQL query here, which I got, I will execute it on my database. Okay, let's say this is my SQL database which I created, and after this it will give me the result. Now whenever any user uses this application, he will not see this particular part, okay, because this is happening in the backend which we just created. Okay, all this will be hidden to a user. This is what any AI application does, right? So user will simply see, I pass an natural language, I got a question. Now remember you asked me that what if I use multiple languages, right? LLM has the capability to convert anything into any language. So for example, you can change this from English to any particular language, it will give you the result. You can test it out. So I have updated the code here as well. You guys can follow it, watch the video again and see step by step. Problem thing is, code you will find anywhere. Main thing is understanding what all steps are there, how things are happening. And these codes keep on changing because LangChain library is getting updated almost every month. So whatever methods I told you today might not be working tomorrow, right? So you'll have to check that which Python library do I need to use, which Python method do I need to use right now. But the concept will not change, which I just told you. Okay. Now, can someone tell me what is the drawback of this? Is the most basic. This is the most basic NL-to-SQL model. But what is the drawback of this? Can you guys tell me? Anyone? Are you guys like, you guys are bored, or you guys slept, or what? What happened? Guys, please participate. Like, we have only, like, our session is almost done. I'm just discussing the last parts, right? What is the drawback of this method? Because this is not the most appropriate NL-to-SQL model. So let me tell you what are the drawbacks and how industry is evolving. Okay. The problem with this is that, for example, first problem, we are passing our whole schema, right? For example, right now there were 25 variables. What if there were 250 variables in your data set? What if there were 2500 variables in your data set? Will you pass all of them? No, because if you pass all of them, it will create token issue, or it will be very costly. Remember, for every token that is run on LLM, it costs you money. So you do not want, for example, let's say there are 2500 variables, but you only need specific variables for a specific use case. So you need to build your system such that depending upon the user question, okay. So what is an advanced version of this? How to correct this? That user question comes in, okay. Pick the right variable. Pick the right variables, okay. Right variables. After that, pass to LLM to create the query, okay. After that, generate the result, right? So there is an additional method which comes up, how to pick the right variable based on user question through it. This comes through the concept of RAG application, retrieval augmented generation, which we will do some other time, not right now. Okay, this is the first drawback. What if there are multiple variables? How are we going to sort them? Second problem, what if there are two variables with the same meaning? For example, let's say there is a variable revenue. There's a variable of revenue 1. There's a variable of revenue 2. How does your model decide which particular variable to pick in the query? Remember, this query is generated by LLM. LLM is just understanding based on whatever definitions what you have provided. Now, if two variables have the same definition or they are having similar names, LLM can create error. So how do you sort these kind of problems? This is the second case scenario. Third scenario where this particular thing falls short is that what if there are multiple databases? For example, user asks a question. Let's say user asks a question. For example, let's pick up the same question. What is the temperature in hottest city in this world? Okay, let's say it asks this, in hottest city. Now it has two tasks. First of all, which is the hottest city? Okay. Second is, what is the temperature in that? Now this information comes from a table 1. This information comes from a table 2. So how do you create a SQL query for this? Correct? So this is something very important, which we will do later. Again, these are advancements. So again, there are like 3 to 4 more advancements which involve more of GenAI concepts, which you will learn later. But my objective was to show you the power of a GenAI application, how you can leverage LLM to create applications like this. There can be tremendous level of applications. For example, creating interview chatbot, creating resume ATS builder, creating, for example, search bar, and creating, there are a lot of, I mean, I just forgot the count, to be honest, right? So it has a lot of scope, but you need to understand the whole concept of GenAI or AI engineering is prompt engineering, LangChain, LangGraph, and different libraries which are present, and how those elements are there, are used there. Okay. Another drawback was that, let me tell you, the last drawback, after this I will close the session, that we talked about chain, that okay, this is the task 1, this is the task 2, right? If you remember, LangChain chain runs from left to right only. What if after T2 my answer is still not answered and I need to come back to T1? There is no option through LangChain, because LangChain only runs linearly like this. It does not come back, right? So this concept is solved using LangGraph, okay, where you use a graph structure to answer this. But again, that is not for today. So that's all from my end today. I hope you guys learned something. Let me know the feedback, and if you guys have any question, I'm open to answer now. And thanks a lot for taking out like 2.5 hours. It's a big deal, but thanks again, everyone. So any question, I'm ready to answer now. Those for whom answer is clear, you guys can leave the call. This particular GitHub link is present. You can access that from there. Okay. So guys, any doubt, anyone?
I want to ask.
Yeah,
Go
please.
ahead. No, I was just saying that I'm clear from my side.
Yeah, please go ahead, one by one you can ask.
Satvik, I have a doubt. So, like, I just am curious that is Ollama being used in industries, or is GPT only preferred? Like,
Ollama problem with open source application is that that they have security issues. Okay, first of all, you can. Second is that because see, no company wants to provide their information to any LLM, that my databases look like this or my information is something like this, right? So Ollama, you do not use in industry. Ollama is not used. They use Llama for some of the cases, but mostly GPT is used because it provides more security and it is more scalable. That's what the reason. And the reason is GPT is, when you talk about logical reasoning, GPT is the best model. And we will see, when I was talking about these SQL cases, right, they become very complex as you go ahead. It requires very solid reasoning power. Open source models, they generally do not have that particular reasoning power, right? That's why GPT, there's a reason, I mean, GPT is still most widely accepted, that reasoning is very powerful in that, right? A recording will be available on our YouTube. You can go, this video is getting live streamed on our YouTube, so you can check it from there. After the session is over, you will be able to access. So guys, any other question, do let me know the feedback. If the session was helpful, after, like, you can text on the WhatsApp group. And I know the session was little long, but I think it needed this time because you guys all are beginners. So still, I am very sure everything must not be clear in your mind, but it's fine. I just wanted to give you an industry level thing, that what is happening in GenAI industry right now, so that you guys decide whether you want to come here or not. It involves heavy Python coding. As you just saw, this was a very basic Python that I did. There are a lot of big Python codes that you will have to write down. So this is the reason that DSA is expected from you, because you need to know how to store the variable, how to store the output in a particular data set, which particular method is most useful and very fast. That's why it is important. Okay, so
just one last thing.
yeah,
So
please.
you said that regex can be used to further modify
Yes,
that
yes.
prompt thing.
Yes.
So at which step will we be using?
So for example, let's say your LLM is not giving only the query. Let's say there are a lot of texts that are coming before and the end part of the SQL query, right? There you use, first of all, you split. There is a method you use, split, and there you also use a regex method where you give it a pattern of a query, and you tell that anything apart from this is not acceptable. So at that part, once your query is generated, from LLM. After that, you do it out. This is called output parsing. So at this step in the code, where when LLM was giving you the output here, SQL, right? SQL query. After this, you can modify it by running a regex or using split. Or there are like multiple methods you can do. I will talk about them some other time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. So let me know. Do let me the feedback on WhatsApp group, please. Right, and thanks a lot for taking out time. I tried my best, but let's see. I mean, I know there will be a lot of doubts, but it's fine. You guys can reach out to me. And thanks again for joining. You can watch the session from YouTube, and we'll come up with more such workshops in future as well. So, and we have a GenAI course also coming up in December. I will let you know about that. Okay. So thanks again, everyone. Please leave a feedback on WhatsApp group, whatever you liked it or didn't like it, whatever it is, so that we can improve on these sessions. Okay. Thanks again for joining, guys.